Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whatever time you're actually watching this. But first, before I start this video, guys, look what I got. It's so awesome. Finally got the house that I actually belong in. Can't speak English today. Don't know what's wrong with me. Blah. If you do not know what this video is about books I've read in 2016 and how let down I am at myself for not reading more. Like, I'm literally so disappointed in myself. I've been going through my bookshelves trying to work out what books I've read, and I'm seriously let down. I'm so let down with myself. Like, extremely, like, the amount of books that I've read in the past in a year has been like 10 plus, and this year's just not good enough. Also, one of them is a book that I actually reread because I don't even know why, but it's one of my favorite books. It's not like number one, but it is definitely one of my favorite books. It has changed since I did that last video. I'll probably have to do an update, but we'll see. We'll see. So this is the first book that I read, and it is On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher, which was a pretty good book. I expected something different to happen from the promotions and all that other stuff that went on in like a little bit. I just expected something else from her, but you know what? It was still a good book and I still enjoyed it, and I don't know, I felt like this was meant for younger audiences, but I could be wrong. I hope she writes more in the future and I hope it is good. That is just so stupid. Of course it's going to be good, it's her. This was the second book that I read, and this is a book that I've read before. It is Lies My Girlfriend Told Me by Julianne Peters, and this is literally one of my favorite books in the world. It sounds weird if I try to explain it to you, so I'm not going to even attempt to, but people that have read it will agree with me because it is just lovely. It is about two girls that are together though, so if you're not interested in that stuff, then don't read it. And don't give me hate for liking this. Because it was a good book, and it still is a good book. I can literally pick it up anytime and reread it because it's that fantastic. Next one was My Best Friend Maybe, and it is by Kaylee Carter, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if that is not right. But it was pretty good too. It is about two best friends that suddenly stop being best friends. It's from two different perspectives. One of them doesn't really understand what happened and why the other doesn't want to be friends with her anymore, and it is just a whole bunch of lies and a whole lot of like you as the reader not really knowing what's happened and sort of the basis of the story. Pause it and stop me and skip a little bit if you don't want spoilers, so I'm just gonna wait for you to do that. So it's about these two friends. One of them stops being friends because one of them actually tells the other's very religious mother that she is gay, and basically the mother says that she should, you know, go to hell and all that other stuff. And so that best friend stops being friends with the other friend. The friend doesn't understand why, because the mother doesn't actually tell her that her friend is gay and sort of like that sort of thing. And then suddenly other stuff happens. Anyway, that is a big spoiler, but it's really good and it's very interesting, but it's also a bit confusing, and you know what? Teen angst is the sum up of that book. I have been rereading the Harry Potters lately because I have forgotten everything really. I read them when I was really young and I didn't really understand them back then, so I'm rereading them. Also, I was dyslexic then and I still am now, but you know that. Anyway, this was one of them that I read this year. All the other ones I read, this is one that I read last year, but all the other ones I read in 2015. So they don't really count, which kind of sucks because I read the first three in like a month, which was awesome. That's awesome for me. That never happens. Anyway, that was the fourth one. It is my favorite by far. I love it so much. I'm on the fifth one at the moment. I'm not enjoying it as much. Too much information. Too much to put in my brain. I'm forgetting already. I'm halfway through it. I just don't even know what's happening anymore. This is one of my favorite comics ever, Lumberjanes, and it is, I love it because it's like, it's meant for a younger audience, but there's so many like stuff that is probably for an older audience, and it makes me so happy because it is gay as well. But that is not the only reason that I started reading it. I just, probably you guys don't know this, but I really like art and that, but you probably do because of rants I've done. Anyway, this is really good and it's not very thick. Highly recommended if you don't like reading. Literally is all pictures. There are like little things at the beginning of the chapters, but you don't really need to read them. They don't really like add anything to the story. It's mainly the pictures and that sort of thing that adds to the story, and it's really awesome and it's just so pretty. This is one of the covers. This is the fourth one, by the way, if you didn't know. Anyway, it's so pretty and I love it very much. I've just no words. This was the last book that I read in 2016. This was actually a book that I had to read for school, but I ended up loving it so much. It is 1984. I said that wrong. By George Orwell. It is a classic and it is the best book ever. My English teacher said to me, if you don't like this book, then you may as well just get out of the class. If you bag it out, get out of the class. And like, I was only a little bit into the book when she said this, and I was like, I didn't say anything to her, but in the end it is like one of the best books ever. I understand why it's a classic now, obviously. It's about a dystopian society and it's just so fucked up but so interesting to read, and so much like stuff happens in it. If you've seen the movie to this, it does not do the book justice. You have to read the book. Just don't even look at the movie. I've watched the movie and I've been very disappointed in it. Anyway, guys, that was all the books that I read in 2016. I'm very let down with myself. Anyway, I'm very let down with myself and I really hope that I read more in 2017. And so far, I'm letting myself down because I've not read anything at all. But I will probably do another video next year about the books that I read in 2017, because that's just me and that's just gonna happen. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Please like, subscribe, because that's always nice, and goodbye. If you have watched the movie to this, don't, or like